Shabbat Shalom, friends. Page 142.
Welcome, friends, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How nice it is to come together as a community. Each of us bringing here different feelings, thoughts, emotions on this Shabbat. Some of us here ready to celebrate tomorrow a beautiful bat mitzvah. Others may be here in mourning. Some are here returning from after a year of college. Some anticipating a high school graduation. We have one of the youngest members of our congregation who is right here, sleeping, hopefully. Yeah, pretty much-ish. And we have many dedicated, longtime members of our congregation here. This is a special evening, honors Shabbat, which I'll say more about as a tradition in our congregation here at Temple Israel. We're also going to honor our retiring Director of Early Childhood Education, Nancy Isaacs, after a wonderful career and service to our community. I'm Rabbi Michael Friedman, pleased to be joined by our senior cantor, Julia Cadrain. Rabbi Enby is here. She's taking care of something last minute downstairs. And we have a wonderful team of musicians today as well. Mike Lantowski and Kobe Hayon and Mike Kennan. We have Sean and Chris working the technology for us. Brian and Stephanie and Rob are here as well. All of you are here. It's a beautiful evening, even if the rain did sort of force us inside. It was the right call.
Look how green it is.
It was definitely the right call. So green, yes, that's it. It's so good.
It's nice. You have a nice view. We have a nice view too. It's differently nice.
And so we now invite Ashley Penku, who will become bat mitzvah tomorrow, forward for the lighting of the candles, and she'll be joined by Rose Parasoff, who will also become bat mitzvah tomorrow. The blessing is on page 120.
you so much, Rose and Ashley. We're transitioning to our Kavala Shabbat Psalms. Our ancestors suggested that we sing Psalms every week to get us ready for Shabbat. Maybe they understood then, too, like we understand now, that singing actually makes us feel better. It lowers our heart rate and it calms us down. So let's make some sounds together. Open up our mouths. Page 130, L'chu Naranana. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song.
Page 131. Last night I told Cantor just how excited Goldie and George are for their upcoming graduation. They're learning from TIECC. They're learning some new songs, some new Hebrew songs that they're going to sing right here on the bima. And George was running around the house last night singing this song at the top of his lungs and getting every one of the words wrong. Hebrew. He turned it into a song about sheep that go by.
It was magnificently wrong.
It was magnificently wrong. And he would not let me correct him. He didn't believe that I actually knew the right words, so I let it go. And it reminded me that throughout history, most of the Jewish community has not actually been able to read and actually understand most of the words of our prayer book. Some have, but many have come just to be part of the music, be part of the community, and to sing "Lai, Lai, Lai," even if the words may be unfamiliar. So George was keeping alive, he was onto something. He was keeping alive a wonderful Jewish tradition. So if you don't know the words or aren't that familiar with them, aren't that confident in them, that's okay. Most Jews throughout history have not been, and yet will sing with no less heart on this evening. Lecha Dodi is on pages 138 and 139. We'll sing verses 1, 2, and 5, and then we'll rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary for the ninth verse. Beloved. remain standing and transition into the heart of our service with Baruch Hu, page 146. Please be seated. Between Baruch Hu and Shema, it's always our opportunity to take note of the world around us. What a blessing it is. Even indoors, we have these beautiful windows of our sanctuary in front of us and behind us and on the side to take in the beauty of God's natural world. We should never lose sight of the miracles beyond our windows. And so I invite you to join with me on page 148, on the foot of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Amen. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Last year, Nancy and I were sitting trying to figure out how do we help our fours transition into kindergarten. And Nancy came up with this idea, gesher to kesher. Gesher meaning bridge. And every time we sing Mi Chamocha, I think of that, because Mi Chamocha represents a bridge from slavery to freedom. And it's a reminder to all of us that we can always find that bridge where we look for it. We sing on page 158. One of my favorite teachings is that the most whole heart is a broken one. And one I just learned today is that we can hopefully love in this world so much that each day our heart breaks open a little bit. Hashkivenu is a reminder to us that even when our heart is broken open, even when we are so filled with love, we are held, protected, and honored. We sing Hashkivenu, page 160.
We rise in body or spirit for the blessings of the Amidah, page 164. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufriah gitehim hatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וכל הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מכבוך בגבורות, ומדום מלך, Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, lechayei hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'hoyom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We'll continue in a moment with personal reflection and prayer. I want to first invite us to do something I make my clergy colleagues do all the time, which is just to take a couple of deep breaths together. And you might have a book in your hands. Maybe your hands aren't free, but if you can free them up for just a minute, I just want to invite us to put our hands out like this and just very simply breathe in. Bring our hands to our face and breathe out. Move our hands away from our faces, exactly like that. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out. Beautiful. Thank you for trying that. We'll continue now with the words of your book or the words of your own heart, and we'll invite you to remain standing or be seated, whatever works for you to find that little bit of peace. Page 180.
A rabbi once asked his followers where God was. Everywhere, of course, they responded. The rabbi said, God may be everywhere, but we cannot always let God in. So God is in fact where we can let God in. Maybe God shows up as a loving friend. Maybe God is the warm blanket lovingly placed upon us. Maybe God is in the phone call we made to someone in need of healing. So many of us want to feel God's presence or see others held. Who in our lives, even ourselves, might need help to let God in for healing? We know these members of our congregational family, and we want to make them known to all of us, so we might think of them for healing. Israel Avraham Ben Thea Rachel, Arlene Blumenthal, James Bruni, Frida Easton, Steve Elliott, Jackie Fuchs, Roy Fuchs, Lenny Gans, Skylar Grossberg, John Hall, Jeff Helfand, David Hidalgo, Peter Horton, Penny Castelli, Ann Beth Katz, Natalie Kellner, Phyllis Kamansky, Mark Krigsman, Don Matthews, Tammy Molman, Barbara Nash, Ruth Ocean, Alton Parody, Francine Plaza, Carol Randall, Dorothy Reynolds, Robbie Rajano, Deborah Lynn Ross, Cantor Richard Silverman, Kathy Soroka, Esther Stone, Karen Sugarman, Sandy Troy, Joan Wetzler, Yocheved Sarah Bat Etel, Rivka Bat Chaya Umordechai. If there's someone you're thinking of in need of healing, I invite you to share their name aloud. All of them and hold them in our hearts as we join in Mishaberach, our prayer for healing on page 371.
If you're live streaming us too, if you're not in the room, we want to invite you to just say the name out loud wherever you are, or type it into the comments.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. God spoke to Moses and said, in the second year, in the spring of that year, you shall observe a Shabbat of great celebration, so that the great and wise among you, the heads of the congregation of Temple Israel of Westport, may be honored. Thus you shall honor them and present them with gifts on that Shabbat. The origins of tonight's ceremony are shrouded in the mists of history. We do not know who it was, but many generations ago, the founders of Temple Israel ordained that every once in a while, it's been about every 2 years or so, pandemic notwithstanding, that we have gathered to honor those who have given so generously of their time and their wisdom in leading our congregation, in serving our congregation. This is a real quote. Ezehu mechubad, hamechabed et habriot. In Pirkei Avot, the wisdom of our ancestors, it said, who is honored? Those who honor their fellow human beings. Our honorees tonight have each given generously and selflessly of their time and their expertise to sustain and improve our congregation. They've done it all for the benefit of everyone who calls Temple Israel their Jewish home, our Jewish home. And we, clergy here on the Bima, we get a lot of recognition for our leadership of the Jewish community. All of those who we are honoring tonight, well, you guys don't get recognized nearly enough for the time and the energy and the care, the conscientiousness and the integrity that you bring to this congregation. And as an aside, I think we're going to have to start a new tradition, which is spouses and significant others honors and awards night. Because all of you who are sitting here, who are spouses and significant others of those who are being honored tonight or have been honored in the past, well, you've been generous enough to give us your beloveds, for many a Zoom or in-person meeting. You've wondered aloud on Monday nights or Tuesday nights or Thursday nights, what are they still talking about? How are they still talking about it at this hour? Sound right? So for all of you, I won't name all of you, but there are many spouses here who also deserve recognition for their patience and their generosity. Like a few other events and celebrations over the past couple of years, this event has been postponed. Some who we intended to honor, wanted to honor, were not able to attend tonight. So we will be glad to honor them next year, maybe even just in the fall, who knows? Nothing's been scheduled yet. At the same time, the postponement has enabled us to add additional, very much deserving members of our congregation to the honor roll this evening. This evening, we will be giving out 4 awards. The Shofar Award for exceptional service over an extended period of time. That's also a real quote that was ordained by our ancestors. It is, actually. We're giving a Past President Award to an individual who has served our congregation in the highest office. We're giving 2 Honorary Trustee Awards for dedicated service during an extended period of time on the Board of Trustees. And we will present the Meritorious Service Award, which in this case will be given to a group of individuals who have stepped up during a time of crisis for our congregation. And we will be also honoring Nancy Isaacs, who is retiring at the end of June after 6 years as our Director of Early Childhood Education. And so, it's my pleasure to invite forward Michelle Gersh to present the Shofar Award to Harriet Blitzstein. Harriet, you come forward too, please.
Shabbat Shalom. I first heard of Harriet Blitzstein when I was summoned to my 12-year-old son's room. Normally unafraid of everyone, he told me he was in a lot of trouble for not learning his Torah portion, and that he was tasked with calling this Harriet at 3 p.m. to read it to her perfectly. But she was at Trader Joe's, and she was unable to talk to him. It's true. Her expectations and Trader Joe's shopping would prove prescient as I grew to know and love Harriet. If you have been a parent of a B'nai Mitzvah student, as I have been, you know that Harriet gets every kid at our temple super Torah ready, while relating to them with sports and music. She bakes cakes for every student who returns to Kesher after their mitzvah, and can tell you who is a Giants fan, who likes Post Malone, and who is gluten-free. If you have been a colleague of Harriet's, as I have been, you know that she is dedicated, loving, and a wonderful Jewish role model for our students. She has launched letter writing campaigns to students of other religious denominations after tragic events in their communities, led intense conversations about anti-Semitism, and is the one the kids go to share their drama and ask their questions. If you have been a temple member with Harriet, as I have been, you may have seen her spend days cleaning out closets filled with old books in preparation for our new director, volunteering time to meet with students and tutor them if they lagged behind in Kesher or a Torah prep. What I wish for all of you is the best distinction I have, and that is being Harriet's friend. I have never gotten a text from her that doesn't start with asking me how my kids are, in good times and in bad. And I will never forget all the Trader Joe's goodies she dropped at my doorstep during lockdown. We could not educate our students at Temple Israel without Harriet. It has been my honor to have her educate mine, to work alongside her, and to so fortunately call her my friend. Please know, Harriet, how lucky we are at Temple Israel to have you in our congregation.
Not me. Thank you.
You do not have to say anything, Harriet. I'll just add that I knew you before I even started here because during my interview process, I sat with a group of teens, including Natalie Schanzer, for example, and Sam Glassberg, and Ben Muller, and I asked them about their experience at Temple Israel, it's what we then called the religious school, and all I heard was, Harriet, Harriet, Harriet this, Harriet that, Harriet. Who is this superwoman? Well, now we know. Now I know. Pleased to invite up our president, John Kaufman, and our next honoree, Eileen Bereni.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom, Eileen. We're both dressed. I know. We're just amazed we're both wearing like real clothes, right? So our next honoree has been a part of our community for 20 years and has definitely not been a passive member. Eileen Bereni, our immediate past president, served on our board of trustees for the past 10 years, and in 2018, she accepted the daunting role of temple president. And this I can relate to a little bit. And here's what's even more illustrative of Eileen's commitment and selfless dedication to Temple Israel. Despite her 2-year term ending in the midst of the first phase of COVID in the spring of 2020, when any sane person would have said, yep, I'm out here, Eileen was willing to extend for an additional year, and I remember the conversation distinctly. And literally, it was in the depths of the worst parts of COVID. As we all know, it was not an easy year. And during that year, when I was treasurer, Eileen mentored me as I prepared to become president. I can't even imagine assuming this role without her generous guidance and training. When Eileen finished her term, despite the absolute tumult of the pandemic that wreaked havoc with so many temples, she was leaving our congregation stronger than ever. She ensured that despite the isolation of COVID, our members stayed connected and engaged. She kept us financially sound and strong, and she laid the foundation for what is truly an exciting and vibrant new era for all of us, including bringing in notable new members of our TI family, like Cantor Goodrein, Rabbi Plessant, Rabbi Nemitov Bressler, and promoting Brian Bierman, where's Brian? Back there, into the executive director role at TI. For all of this and so much more, we recognize, honor, and are deeply grateful to Eileen for her service as president of Temple Israel. And now I think Rabbi Friedman has a gift that you'd like to present to her.
Eileen, this has been sitting in my office. I ordered this in early 2020, wanting to give you a gift as you step down from a very successful term as president of Temple Israel. You chose to stay for another year, and then we postponed this ceremony. I am thrilled to be able to present this talit on behalf of all of us to you.
So much. Wow. This is gorgeous. Oh, wow. Thank you.
And in addition to Eileen's passion for leadership of this congregation, Eileen also has a passion for Torah study and is one of the most learned and knowledgeable members of our congregation, leads our Torah study minion group on occasion, and studies in other venues as well. So for all of those reasons, thank you so much, and we hope that you wear this talit in a lot of joy and always in good health.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my God. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. I now invite Tammy Jersey and Maury Wind forward as joint presenters this evening.
So apparently there was a tie between two potential recipients for the Honorary Trustee Award. So the board decided to honor both recipients this year.
We are honored to be able to introduce these two very special members of our temple. But before we do, we would like to do a compare and contrast before sharing these names with you.
So my award winner has been a member of Temple Israel for nearly 40 years. Can anyone else in here top that? I'm just curious. Okay. And this person has achieved so much for Temple Israel by serving on the Board of Trustees on 3 different occasions, i.e. for a lot of time. Specifically, he has been a member of search committees to recruit 2 assistant rabbis, a senior cantor, and Nancy Isaacs, our beloved ECC director.
My award winner has served on the board for 10 years. And in that short time, she has done more for the temple than many members have done in twice that amount of time. Specifically, she has led or served on search committees for our current senior rabbi, our new senior cantor, Nancy Isaacs, an assistant rabbi, and an executive director, plus being a member of several boards of trustees nominating committees. She has also served as vice president of our executive committee for 7 years.
So my recipient has been the chairman of the ritual committee for more than 25 years. Eileen can attest to that. Head of the security committee for 6 years, a member of the reopening task force for 2 years during COVID, and also a member of the Board of Trustees nominating committee on 3 different occasions.
I have relied on this award winner for being my voice of reason, keeping me in check when I've become frustrated or wanted to take more aggressive action.
And I have relied on this award winner to always have my back and be my voice of reason as a fellow board member. He is eternally young at heart and has made my experience on the board even richer than it would have been without him.
I am honored to introduce Tammy Jersey as the recipient of this year's Honorary Trustee Award.
And guess what? I'm honored to introduce Maury Wind as a recipient of this year's Honorary Trustee Award.
I'd rather be so far. No, I'm kidding.
You're gonna re-up? You gotta come back on the board for that one. And now I'm very pleased to invite our Executive Director, Brian Bierman, to present the Meritorious Service Award to our Reopening Task Force.
Around 800 days ago, the board appointed 7 lay leaders and 6 staff members to sit on a reopening task force. I had the honor to sit on this committee, which was chaired by Sherry Gordon. For months, every Sunday, yes, every Sunday, it wasn't Sunday football, it was Sunday reopening task force. We would have meetings together. We processed information, data, studies. We would hear about what Westport schools were doing, Weston, Fairfield, and so on and so forth, and how they were handling the pandemic. Our conversations surrounded how we could best serve our community, our staff, and our clergy. From measuring how far the podiums had to be, how far the chairs had to be, changing the venue to high holidays to the tent, suggesting an update to our HVAC system, and much more. All of our members of the Reopening Task Force had conversations about how each decision affected our community with love and compassion. The bottom line, you kept us safe, and you kept everyone safe. It's my honor to give Temple Israel Service Award to the members of the Reopening Task Force, some that are not here, that might be online. Sherry Gordon, Eileen Bereni, Ed Diamond, Maury Wind, John Kaufman, Ben Fremmer, and Carolyn Caney. Please come up if you're here.
Up, and wait, Sherry, hold on. And this is, oh, and Sherry, this is for you. Congratulations, thank you so much. Congratulations.
And actually, if I can just add one other thing to what Brian said really quickly, we as a committee should also recognize other staff and clergy who were active participants of this as well. Rabbi Friedman, Rabbi Nemithoff Bressler, Cantor Cadrain, Nancy Isaacs, Stephanie Schwartz, who's there somewhere. Is back there? Oh, there she is. And Brian Bierman, coordinator extraordinaire. So this was truly a group effort. So.
I would also add Lisa Goldberg.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's right.
Instrumental, not only in the COVID task force, but in also getting us PPE loans, which were very important.
That's a very good point. Thank you, guys.
And before we move to our final award of the night, final honor of the night, we want to offer a very generous and heartfelt thank you to Ellen Greenwald and Michelle Korenman, who helped us organize this entire event, this entire evening. To celebrate these honorees. And I'm kind of serious. You know, Burton and Valerie and Brian and Eliza and Ron and the other spouses here. Next time it's your turn here on the Bima, okay? Deal? Richard, all right? Okay. And if I've left out spouses, Laura, I apologize. Excellent. Okay. The Talmud relates a story of a nature-loving miracle worker named Honi the Circle Maker. One day, Honi was journeying along the road, and he saw a man planting a carob tree. Honi asked him, "Sir, how long does it take for this tree to bear fruit?" The man replied, 70 years. And Honi asked him, "Will you live another 70 years so that you will eat the fruit of this tree?" The man replied, "I found carob trees in this world, and just as my ancestors planted for me, I too plant these trees for my children." Nancy, for the last several years, this quote from this Talmudic story has appeared just below the signature at the foot of your emails. I am doing as my ancestors did. Just as they planted for their children, I am planting for mine. I've watched you do exactly that, both as rabbi and then as parent. There is surely no one that we would have preferred to oversee the very first years of our children's education than you. And there are many parents in our community, I can assure you, who feel the exact same way. Friends, it's possible that never has one person's success here at Temple Israel been less of a surprise. When we hired you, we knew you were exactly the right fit, Nancy, the right person in the right role at the right time. And still, the success that you have achieved is beyond what any of us could have possibly imagined. You have brought the perfect blend of knowledge and emotional intelligence and adaptability and empathy to your role. You've teamed so beautifully with Jerry, your right hand, and our other teachers and staff here at Temple Israel. You've arrived early and stayed late. You've been up at 4 a.m. on snowy winter mornings. You've dealt with COVID closures and changes in protocols in an endlessly metamorphosizing environment. And you've handled it all with poise and patience. And you've doubled the size of our school along the way. Nancy, every single day of your career, you have planted and nurtured seeds. Seeds that will one day become great trees. The little ones of our school, of this congregation, are your legacy. The fruit of your labor will surely reverberate for generations. And so we say in the words of the Psalms, Vayhi noam Adonai Eloheinu alayich, u'maaseh yadayich konena. May the favor of Adonai, our God, be upon you and upon your family, and may the work of your hands continue to prosper. I invite us all to say, Amen. Nancy, come on up here. Nancy, we're fortunate to have a number of occasions to celebrate and honor you this spring. Tonight, obviously, then in a couple of weeks, there's going to be an opportunity for all of the ECC students and families to honor you. There's going to be, on a couple of weeks after that, there's going to be an opportunity for all the teachers and staff to honor you as well. And that's a good thing, because we have a wonderful gift to present to you that is not ready yet. An artist is creating a one-of-a-kind, unique piece for you with the Honi quote. So we hope that it will be framed, and we hope that you will place it in a spot of honor in your home as a gift from all of us at Temple Israel to you, just as you have planted for all of our children. The seeds of your labor will bear fruit for many, many years.
Thank you. It's been my honor. It really has. It's been my honor. Thank you all. I didn't prepare a few words, but all I can think of is I was sort of doing the math that in my long career as an early childhood educator, I think we have our Siyum in a few weeks, which is the moving up ceremony for the fours. The George and Goldie will be moving up as well. And I think I've led a Siyum or participated in a Siyum for about 750 children. And just what an honor that is for them to start them on their young lives, not just in education, but Jewish education, which is what's so near and dear to my heart. So it's an honor. Thank you all so much.
So now, all of the honorees, we have one final thing for you. Please, if you've been honored this evening, please come forward. Join us here on the bima.
Face us, face us.
We want to offer you our tradition's most ancient blessing. It comes from the Book of Numbers, the priestly blessing. We can sing, can you hear that song?
We turn now to the conclusion of our service. The garden was in full bloom, each bed meticulously weeded, the hostas full, displaying their grandeur as the azaleas popped open. The lawn was bright green, and the birds chirped happily in the low bushes. And the family sat in their funeral wear, remembering. This is the scene I saw today. Often sadness walks beside beauty. It encourages memory. And that tonight is what we hold. The memories among the sadness, the beauty among the loss. We remember those who were taken from our midst most recently. If there's someone who you're thinking of who passed within the last month, I invite you to rise and share their name out loud. We hold his name and we hold the names of Blanche Benson, mother of Alan and Lisa Eisman, grandmother of Aaron and Julia, Doris Brocato, mother of Adrian and John Tober, grandmother of Jet, John F. Weiss, husband of Sheila, father of Gran and John F. Weiss, Jr., stepfather of James Beenan and Jonathan Beenan. If you're commemorating a yahrzeit tonight, I invite you to rise and share their name out loud. We also remember Blanche Bressler, David Edelman, Murray Felton, Nathaniel Fensterstock, Yetta Friedman, Isaac Gottfried, Jean-Paul Joseph, Irene Katz, Ethel Lerner, Max Levitt, Saul Littman, Henrietta Megida, Seymour Ostreicher, Maxwell W. Orland, Carol Rosenberg, Richard Rosenthal, Louis Roth, Scott Rutsky, Sam Schulman, Helen Schumann, Larry Shea, Jean Steele, Ruth Stein, John Tompkins, Howard Walker, Robert Zeisler, Lydia Blatt Zinman. If you're joining us on the live stream or on Facebook, we invite you to say the names of those you're thinking of aloud as well. We turn to page 598 and rise as a one community to remember those who we hold in our hearts. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Dibra Chirute V'yamlich Malchute V'chayachon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'zman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Olmaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh Yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudusha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata Da'amiram Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom V'imrumav Huya Osei Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Osei Shalom V'imrumav Huya
for being with us, whether you're here in person or with us via the live stream. And especially I want to thank for your patience Ashley and Rose, who will become bat mitzvah tomorrow, as we honored those leaders of our community whose guidance has been so important to all of us. So now, Rose and Ashley, come on up. And now it's your turn. Page 123 for Kiddush.
And as they're coming up, if you're a Kesher student in grades K through 6, after the service, come find me to get a special card for a special prize.
Ooh, a special prize?
And a special card.
Okay.
And a special
Oh,
card.
I was going to get this book for you. 1 second.
Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah b'nu v'shabach horsho be'ahava u'ratzon hilchilanu. Zikara l'maaseh b'Bereshit, ki hu yom tefillah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu b'charta v'otanu kidam Shabbat kosher le'ahava u'ratzon hilchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim, ladies. L'chaim. There we go. Cheers. Yes. There we go. You can have a sip. It's just juice. Okay. Would you guys? You can put the Kiddush cups down and the prayer book down too, and you can take the cover off. Thank you, Ashley. And now, Rose, will you take the knife, please, and slice some challah for us as we sing together?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. We'll close with a song for peace. Yaseh shalom bimrama, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom bimrama, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom bimrama, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo
Shabbat shalom and mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom.